Pixar, the people who made those movies, can make a spin-off version about planes. Like, yeah, cars are pretty cool, but you know what's even cooler? Traveling across the y-axis. Like, cars make $10 billion. Okay, maybe cars are a little cooler. The funny part about this entire story, though, is that allegedly, when Disney approached Pixar to basically rip off their own movie, Pixar actually said no, so apparently Disney got mad and said, whatever, we'll just make it ourselves. What could possibly go wrong? Disney's Planes is currently the lowest rated film in the entire franchise, which is funny because it's so weird the way Disney basically tried ripping off a movie they already own and somehow made it worse in every way imaginable. So, because watching bad movies causes me mental anguish and you guys love watching me suffer, today I'll be watching and explaining the Planes movie in full to see if Disney kind of popped off or if they could do anything more. It's still cannot do this movie justice. Obviously happened to Disney. Spider-Man Enter the Dragonfly, and let's watch what may be Disney's biggest fumble ever, Disney's very own Planes. This movie begins with an immediate title card, but of the Cars movie, 5 seconds into this movie, and we're already talking about a different movie. What on earth have I got myself into? The main character of this movie is a plane named Dusty Crockhopper. We're told about how he's the best racer in the world, as he wanted to choose with spider jets like he's playing Mario Kart on 50cc or something. Of course, this isn't being some sort of daydream, because Dusty is just a crop-duster plane, which means he's at least 8 to 9 times slower than a fighter jet in every way imaginable. I know that's holding my last year for hearing the term crop-duster being used in a serious term for the first time in my entire life. I found out that a crop-duster is basically just a farmer, but in plain form. In the movie, Dusty plus his best friend Chug, is basically just Mater from Cars. Both of these dudes are the simple-minded goofy types, and they're always very supportive of their main character best friends. The only real difference is that Chug isn't voiced by Larry the Cable Guy, which means he's missing his iconic southern accent. And I'm gonna be honest, that's like 90% of what made Mater so funny. So, while Dusty's flying around, something inside him blows up, I think. It's once in a while he's pushing himself, like he's just cruising at a regular speed and something goes wrong. Oh, yeah. He wants to be a racer but can't even glide without falling apart. I wonder if he meets a wise mentor that teaches him new techniques. I'll be making a lot of comparisons between this.
This video is sponsored by Star Trek. Wait, Plane actually exists? I always thought it was a stupid internet myth of a Cars sequel that never actually happened. Pixar never made an official Planes movie, so excuse me for not making this video a year sooner. I literally scripted this as a video prompt back then because I didn't realize it was real. Turns out, it's official and done by Disney. But not Pixar, but instead, it's via Disney 2 Studios. Who's this? Another studio I have to keep track of it? Oh, they're the go-to for most dodgy sequels to all the major Disney movies. Return of Jafar, Brother Bear 2, Pocahontas 2, Lion King 2, basically all the news. But they also made The Goldmine that is a Goofy movie, and Stitch has a glitch. Man, I need to get more in the know. But beyond doing every Disney sequel to varying success, they once did a Pixar spin-off. My apologies to those that suggested this. Utama Forever, Terminator, Spider-Man to Dare. No, it's from 2 years ago. This is presumably the terrible Planes movie. But as a brief break from all this madness, one of the most beloved Star Trek franchises is now arriving in Star Trek Fleet Command. Play alongside huge themes like morality, war, and spirituality in the new in-game mission, available on iOS, Android, and Windows. This new article offers something for everyone with 3 new officers focused on ship survivability, new missions following the fan-favorite narrative of Deep Space Nine, and Alliance Starbase, which are the visible embodiment of an alliance's strength, which push members to work together for shared progression and mutual benefits as they navigate inter-alliance diplomacy, conflict, and all-out war. It's a new social feature to enhance collaboration. Players with an alliance will now be able to work together building Starbase. By contributing to an alliance Starbase, an alliance can take over new resources, investing objects, in order to upgrade the base to provide new buffs.
What? What? Come in. Come in, I can't hear you. Mom. 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 Oh.
Will against Alliance Starbase afterwards. So use the link in my description to get all of this in Star Trek. It's definitely unofficial. 2013. Isn't it a little late, but doesn't have right rock music in your face? Anyway, we caught these two official fighter jets doing their runs and training, talking about our super protagonist.
Is he really as good as they say he is?
Oh, and here he is. Just a dinky little flyplane, able to outspeed even fighter jets flaring around them and all. Oh, never mind, it was just his imagination. Your classic power fantasy. Hey, wait a minute, is the base shaped like an airplane? So in the Cars universe, terraforming is different around the globe depending on the population around it. First car building, but there were plane landings. Huh.
I am more than just a clock.
About a city racer having brutal ways, it's about a crop duster plane hoping to one day be a racer with all the standard beats that as well as some off choices with the oh boy, this definitely ain't no Pixar's piece. Though what is the type I call this movie is one member of the team, co-wrote and executive produced this movie. Everyone's favorite Pixar stayed and chief creative officer at the time, Sean Right. But now we know. So moving on, we now get to meet an actual car in our Planes movie. Hey, shouldn't that be illegal? His name's Chuck, the fuel tank truck. He has some opinions about types of fuel, thinking the new stuff is stupid, not environmentally planned, but our protagonist spreads pesticides and it is no surprise. But he likes corn fuel best.
Corn. You shit gas.
Yeah, you get hard out, moving on from our second fart joke in order 3 minutes, Chuck's secondary passion is crew mating for plane racing, readying up to train Dusty Croc on the other races. Yeah. Oh, I'll get it next time. Oh, my God, shot is looking really looks like it. Oh, that makes sense. And so it's an introductory scene to our engineered monster. Immediately spot Dusty's attempts at pushing his body to race.
You're not built to race. You're built to just drop.
It's going to be another movie with the underbelly message kind of being about disabilities, and it's kind of tragic sounding to be born into the wrong body of the thing. As Donnie continues to kick Dusty down, even thinking about it.
Mom! What were you saying? Yeah. Mom! Mom! See, I don't really know how fast to go and how much to say.
You have the whole speech written out.
Yeah. It's not a speech.
So we get a how long does this last?
There's no time limit. It's not a speech.
Is there a time frame?
Oh, so
A recommended time?
no, I asked Miss Wilbur and she said it's not a speech. Not like a speech. It can be however long you want.
That's why you should practice with us. Come out here and practice with us if you're not. Okay?
Why?
Donnie's a little full on, but it doesn't deter the boys who are ecstatic for the wins around the world races or just watching the top 10 crashes on TV. In the logic of the Planes world, isn't this essentially like watching live league? Like, they are practically watching footage of their own people dying, especially if it's the best of all time. Jesus Christ, this world is brutal. And with Chuck getting nervous, we come to ask a veteran plane for help, the skipper.
I heard you shot down 50 planes. Looking to be number 51.
You know, this character is one big Easter egg. Turns out he's been before in Cars 2, another spin-off miniseries to Cars. Specifically, Air Beta, where Beta talks about how he learned how to fly through this skipper dude.
I'm skipper.
Can you learn me how to fly?
But, you're a tow truck.
He's suddenly a lot friendlier in the Cars universe. Anyway, after failing to convince him, Dusty gets the door slammed in his face. But how did he shut the door? Now we're here at the qualifiers.
I don't know how you talk me into this.
Yeah, I don't either. You make no sense being here. It's a simple obstacle course. Fly between the pylons normally or vertically. Everyone else has had their go with one having a character trait. And at the end, it's Dusty's turn.
Now you know you go for speed, not speed.
How do you think it's gonna go when everyone is literally built to be as aerodynamic as possible? It's Dusty's prop design here. He was 10 milliseconds slower than the guy we saw near the beginning. The proper professional. Milliseconds. I mean, go on, achieve your dreams, but I guess forget physics along the way. That being said, this whole racing sequence is actually really good dynamic. The soundtrack in the background is actually putting some work in to make you feel motivated to play as a blue sounding and stellar throughout. Not to mention the cinematography splits into panels for multiple angles on the main event. Really surprised me a little bit of that hard secret formula in there somewhere. Dusty places 6. It's just not enough. So, it's... Seriously, why does this look like a sad scene from Interstellar or something? But of course, the plot can't actually stick around as just this, though maybe I'd want to see a slice of life in a fantasy land one day. As this forklift arrives with some news.
Strut, Jetstream? That doesn't ring a bell.
Movies like this always like to waste your time, don't they? It's always the same joke with varying degrees of actually successful comedy, where you can't miss every time.
Actually pronounced Dusty Hopper.
This guy and his staring is probably a highlight so far. I mean, they use it again to make another damn top joke, but I'm willing to allow it. Anyway, Dusty's qualified since our main guy was apparently blood doping, but with fuel. And just like that, this guy disappears, and the whole town of unestablished characters cheers Dusty on. And to add on to that, Skipper makes his reappearance, telling him to quit.
You'll end up a smoking hole on the side of a mountain with your parts spread over 5 countries.
I mean, Christ, this is some disgustingly graphic imagery we're going with here. I just can't fathom how much of a leap we've got to that we're suddenly in the air now. Why do I want a mature cars movie?
Anywhere.
Well, that's a proper motivation for the old crop duster. But I mean, you could just travel. Is there a cost of living crisis in the Blades universe? Do they pay for petrol? But it's enough for Skipper.
Built it. But you did.
Wait, so does that mean there were Nazi planes in the past? Training time! It's all good doing the normal stuff like a tree with grains and grass. Here's the life pro tip that'll disregard the advantages of a super plane built for racing.
Never come. Either cars or the highway in the shadow. Hey, like Dr. Ducky.
Okay, I guess I'd get behind that then instead of being the record about how the aerodynamic is and crop duster plane's body to successfully iterate. Except... Plane. And he's scared of heights. Oh, Jesus Christ, look.
Detective Duncan's a heart. Why even the 38 turns out with a high altitude?
I'm sorry. Are we directly going there? Haven't there already enough commentary about the tiny bird planes in France or the car Pope confirming the car Jesus was crucified with the attack to Boca Harbor? E-38s? Into it. So which bit is real? But E-38 was all around Pearl Harbor? My God, they're just mentioning it outright at this point. So I can imagine Mr. Webb coming in with quickly be about turning back to his shotgun tennis and just quit. He's gonna do the altitude training instead. First, racing the shadow of another plane and failing immediately.
We can increase power, or we can decrease drift.
Alright, but now they're actively changing somewhat the anatomy of the old problem. Okay, this is sounding more plausible. Never considered the spray line thing to be a plain beauty, but apparently they are. Let's write that down. After many montage of learning techniques and a few engine operations, it's starting to make some progress.
Gravity is your ally. Physics don't speed. Use your radio key. Gravity works.
Don't forget to tighten those lamp busters. Never bring a cat to a dog fight. And with the end of a montage, we've had a success. And so, Dusty makes his way over to New York with only a minor part along the way. Of course, being on water, everyone bumping about everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. You want to go down this way?
It's him. Dusty joins up with all the rest of the planes from around the world.
I don't know how things work in the back water from which you hail, matey.
It's him. Dusty's not too far off from his actual opinions of Americans IRL.
That's because these people are operating at a very, very low level.
Well, we had a couple more introductions. Here's an obvious romantic interest. Or maybe other type of interest. Here's Ripslinger from earlier, being about, as you'd expect, this guy.
I've never heard of the great
Known for indoor racing and clearly the only chance Dusty has for a friend.
The Silverlock is absolutely electric.
Look at Flip guy over here. He was looking more like a Coco Bella character than a Cars character. The same brutal engine behind it all, but boy, it does not translate all that well onto a blip. And so we're at the start of a very long race, about an hour according to the rough time.
Don't let it distract you.
What is she planting anatomically? One more plane to add to our collection. Rochelle, the Canadian rally champion. Got all that? British John Cleese, douchey Ripslinger is shining from India, Duke Carter. And of course, Dusty. But the race is beginning. And as we've well established from Dusty's fear of heights, he's gonna lowball it the whole time. Boy, it sure is boring to watch this race take place in real time, huh? But eventually, Dusty makes it through the icy skies of Iceland, where everyone else has been warming up for a while. There was no serious strategy from Dusty for this whole first 3,000-kilometer leg. This guy just went through all that training, learning all about his G radials, and then just had the gall to fly straight and low all day. I mean, it's hilarious how stupid he is. I vote on Chupacabra, goofy and actually functional.
Probably got too popular, I'd say. Too tough.
Maybe a little too functional. This movie is seriously playing both parts right now. All in on the fart jokes for kids, and a little uncomfortably comfortable with the sexual hints for adults. And so, for Radio Back, Dusty is told he needs to fly a little higher to avoid throwing ice, and it's all about agility for this next one.
It's not speed that wins races, it's speed.
Shame you got your eggs in the basket of Mr. Flying Straight and nothing else, Skipper. Well, as in role point, if you're new, consider subscribing or become a member for early access and behind the scenes. Optional, but only 99p. And here we are, it's those tire numbers again. How's Dusty gonna do? Oh, too bad he's sleeping today. It's all about John Cleese. Just like that, the old British bulldog is dead. We don't remember that part at the very end of part 1, where Lightning finally has a revelation and chooses to come last so that he can save another member of the race? Well, apparently Dusty has already seen this film, as he does exactly that. When no one else came by Cleese's side and pretty blind, Dusty swoops down to follow and guide him towards the big man. And it all worked. The point of Cleese was to try to avoid just doing another cars. Not at all, considering this racing was only going to be something else planes related, you know? Apparently there was even conscious effort that when ideas were pitched that were a little too close to the sun, they were rejected. But racing still got in there, and so did the final story beat. Interesting.
Shakespeare, help, matey. Oh, I couldn't have done it without you.
Disney to the studio think British spoke like pirates. They don't really say matey. The bulldog does all the time. Please, we didn't have a hard time to say mate.
What? 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 Dad, but answer. Why? Please. We can make it real quick. Dad. Dad. You're gonna go bad. We can make it really quick. You're gonna go bad fast.
Yes, and this is a competition.
When does that ever happen in your stinky crop fields? You just accidentally had a lion one morning and you look out the window to just see. So now it's a night over in Germany where petrol is alcohol and there's this hybrid character suddenly.
My name is Fritz, and I have a huge fan.
away from who he truly is. First they tinker with his engine, then they command him to have heights he cannot come from his stomach, and now they're just neutering him. What a message that would be.
So, what do you think?
And it's done. So just like that, Dusty is now steamrolling the competition. They really don't lean on it much somehow. It's a bunch of pretty quick cutaways. The guy edges way ahead of each of the back-end planes, minus the ones that are randomly exploding in the sky. And with Dusty rising through the ranks to 8 planes, he's getting all the media attention now. After all, Dusty is a proper underdog story going on now. And Ritzlinger, of course, isn't happy that he's getting all the attention. Our antagonist is rising up. Oh, also, with Skipper hearing of Dusty's success, only now is he motivated to actually support the guy in person. Not entirely sure why he feel like coming at any sooner point, but whatever. But the old vet just wasn't able to lose. Genuinely kind of tragic. Shot down in the moonlight with just a sad note at the end that... And so it's the next day and another leg for Dusty.
What if the guy wanted to fly through the mountains instead of over them?
Are you kidding me? Does Dusty want to die? He needs to be making every choice that'll get the team with spreading his blood across the mountainside in his final race. Every night this guy has dreamed for the cold embrace of death. He's told not to. Just to fly higher. That'll not be good. I mean, it's a pretty simple premise, and they're just repeating themselves every leg break at this point. Just more of the same. Speaking of, our Chupacabra is continuing to hit on the Canadian plane that is clearly not interested. Yeesh. This is all your fault, but now there's an opportunity for the planes to actually do some talking. We have Ishani coming up to Dusty. Why does she talk like that? Why does this make me feel uncomfortable? And then they go on a date. Is this really the best idea in the middle of the race? I mean, I know it's break time, but surely this isn't risk of doing some damage from more overworking. I doubt people go off on jobs in between marathons, do they? But it's romance time, and an excuse to see the Taj Mahal. Also, you can't seriously be telling me that these two are aerodynamically equal. Look at their two designs. And also, they're dirtying the waters again with strange Cars universe logic as they swoop through a swarm of seagulls that are all literally planes. But the actual planes are birds, right? But tractors are animals because... But anyway, the true purpose of this date comes out.
You like to fly low, don't you? Through the mountains. We can still fly low.
Thanks, Ishani.
So what do you think Death Wish Dusty is going to do over the Himalayas? Follow the advice of everyone around him, or confirmation bias into his own incredibly reckless and illogical ways? And then pretty much immediately we come to a hurdle, a tunnel, to which Dusty instantly pulls up, freaks out, and quits. It's all a very quick turnaround on this story beat that really feels like it's cutting corners, but it's character development time. That'd be the time when Dusty breaks his fear, but instead it's recklessly driving into the train tunnel. Actually pretty decent for a set piece to play with, until you know what to expect appears at the other end. He died. Rest in peace to that poor train that was caused as collateral damage.